The iPhone 6s came out more than half a year ago, and yet, it's one of the best smartphones you can get. It has a great display, a strong processor, a great camera, and 3D touch feature that changes the way you use your phone. So we're now looking forward to the iPhone 7. But yet, one of the biggest questions there is, should you still buy an iPhone 6s? Well, I don't have the iPhone 6s, but harder question is if you should buy the iPhone 6s Plus. Hey there guys, this is Rory Tech here, and in this video, I'm going to make a review and help you decide if you should buy the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus after more than half a year it's out there. So let's get started. So the first thing I like to start with is the design of the iPhone. And at first glance, I can't tell you I'm seeing a lot of difference between it and the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus. In fact, if I will hide the S badge under the iPhone logo, and if there were no rose gold color to the new iPhone, I think that there won't be any way I couldn't know which one is the iPhone 6 and which one is the iPhone 6s. Maybe in the camera land you can see that on the iPhone 6s the structure is darker color, and then on the iPhone 6, but really they are 95% identical. Now about those antenna lines that I know that a lot of people didn't like on the iPhone 6, well, they are here again in the iPhone 6s. They are in their same colors as the previous iPhones. So in the space gray iPhone, the antenna lines are more darker gray. On the silver, they are more bright gray, and on the gold and the new rose gold colors, they are completely white. So if you don't like to see the antenna lines, and so you should. And you would like to see more cleaner iPhones, so you might want to pick a space gray or a silver iPhone that you don't really see the antenna lines in them, but everyone and his taste in design and color. I can say that in the beginning I had a little bit problem with the antenna lines, but now I don't really care, and I like the design of the current iPhone, no matter what color, well, maybe not a rose gold or pink, because it's kind of pink. Now you do need to know that the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus are a bit thicker than the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus, each one in 0.2 millimeters from its predecessor, and they are also a bit heavier, each one in about 20 grams. I guess it is because the new 7000 series aluminum to strengthen the body and a new stronger glass, which is great. The bendgate problem we had with the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. To me, I don't really care with the weight. I had the iPhone 6, which was 6.9 millimeters thin, and now I have the iPhone 6s Plus, which is 7.3 millimeters thin, so I can feel the difference, and above all, I really feel the difference in weight, since the iPhone 6 weight 129 grams, and the 6s Plus is 193 grams. But honestly, it's really not matter to me. There will be some people who will like to have a heavier iPhone to feel it in their hands and not feel like it's going to fly in the air, since the previous iPhone was really light, but it's not a huge difference, so don't be worried about it. So in design I will give it 9. It is still the same design and also has much stronger body, which is great. Now let's talk about the chip in this guy. It has the new Apple A9 chip, and this chip is really a monster. It's 70% faster in CPU, and 90% faster in GPU tasks from the A8. And you can really see the difference when you are checking in Geekbench. There is a huge difference from the A8 to the A9 in speed. So Apple did well here. Now I know there is smartphones out there like the Galaxy S7 and LG G5 with chips like the Snapdragon 820 chip and the Exynos 8890 of the GS7, and I guess you saw the benchmarks, and there is a huge difference in the multi-core scores, but you do need to know that this is an iPhone, it's running iOS, everything here was designed to be close and perfect. Apple is take care on its hardware and software, and so this iPhone has no problem at all to compete with the G5 and the S7. It's fast just like them, and it's really one of the fastest smartphones I've ever used. And speaking about speed, the new Touch ID 2 on the iPhone 6s is the fastest fingerprint reader I have ever used on a smartphone. I can really just put my finger on the home button, just tap it, and it is unlocking my device. It is so fast that I got used to wake my phone up by clicking on the turn on off button on the right side of the device by clicking instead of clicking on the home button. So it's really fast, and I guess you will love to use it, especially those who like to do things fast on their iPhone. Now, with the new chip, Apple had also increased the memory of the RAM from 1 to 2 gigabytes, which I think is great for multitasking and running apps. Now, again, I know there is devices with 3 or 4 gigabytes of RAM, but with iOS, even 1 was enough, and 2 is even greater. So don't worry, iPhone is not staying behind. Now, the new A9 chip also has the new M9 motion core processor, for the first time embedded into the chip, and it's always on. So now on the iPhone 6s you can use the Hey Siri feature without need to charge your iPhone. So this is pretty good. So in the chip I will give it 10 because this phone is really fast with no lagging. Now let's talk about the camera. So the iPhone always had a great camera, one of the best on the smartphones in every year. And in this year, Apple upgraded the camera to 12 megapixels from 8, which is an increase of 50% pixels in the sensor. But more pixels not always make a bigger picture. So Apple has used a few technologies in the eyesight sensor to make sure that the adding of more pixels will not hurt the quality of the pictures in the eyesight camera. So the pictures here are great on this camera, they are really great, but really there is no much of difference than the camera of the iPhone 6. Apple really didn't make the aperture wider, it's still f2.2 aperture, so no changes in focus and lighting conditions. They are really still really good. And when you take pictures of objects, so you can see that the focus range is really good. The objects is getting all the focus, and everything in the back is out of focus. Colors is excellent in the sensor. They really are natural and warm. If you will zoom in pictures and compare, you can see that there is a little bit more details on this 12 megapixel sensor. But honestly, for the regular camera user that takes pictures of peoples and views, there is no much of difference between the iPhone 6 and the iPhone 6s. But one thing that the 12 megapixel sensor really improved here is the adding of 4K video, finally for the iPhone. So you can shoot 4K videos on your iPhone and they're coming amazing, really sharp, and the optical image stabilization on the iPhone 6s Plus really helps to get sharp and a stabilized video. Also the focus range is really good on the video as well. You also get improved with slow-mo videos at 120 frames per second, now shooting at 1080p. Now on the front camera, there is a big improvement. We have now 5 megapixel front FaceTime camera, which is a big improvement from the 1.2 megapixel camera we had in the previous iPhone. And also you get a new flash for the front camera, which is called a Retina flash, which uses the display as a flash and make it bright 3 times more, and also measure the color temperature of the image, and also uses as a true tone flash. So now you can take your selfies even in the dark. So that is really great, and they're coming amazing. Now a new thing with the iSight camera is the adding of a new feature that's called live photos. So live photos, you're just touching the round badge in the top of the camera app, and then you press on the camera button to take the picture, and it takes 1.5 seconds before and after you took the picture. And when it's done, you can make the picture live and see what happened before and after you took the picture. And when it's done, you can make the picture live and see what happened before and after you took the picture. And here, since the live photos also have sound, so it's pretty cool. It is just gimmick, but still it's pretty cool. But the biggest question is, how do you make the picture live? Well, this brings us to the final major feature of the iPhone 6s, which is 3D Touch. So 3D Touch is pretty much the same as Force Touch on the Apple Watch. You just press harder to take shortcuts in apps to make your use faster on the iPhone. So why it's called 3D Touch and not Force Touch? Well, that's because you get something new here that you don't get on Apple Watch, which is called Pick and Pop. So if, for example, you have a website, but you're not sure it is the website you want to get into, so you press hard to pick to see a preview of the page, and if it's the website you want to get into, you just press harder to pop the website and really get into it. And if you don't want to get into it, you just let go your finger and it's get back right from where you left. and it works also with pictures, links, and there is now a lot of apps that take support with 3D touch like Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, and more. And I'm sure that in the future this thing will have much more use in a way that will help manage our iPhone in much better way. So back to the camera, I will give the iPhone 6s the score 8, and the iPhone 6s I will give the 6s Plus I will give the score 9, since it has OIS, which is improve your videos and quality of the videos. Now with 3D touch, again, this is a major feature. So in new features, I will give the both iPhone 6s and 6s Plus the score 9, since I believe that although 3D touch is a great feature, I'm sure that in the future people will use it in a much better way, because developers now make apps that support 3D touch in much better way that now people using 3D touch with their iPhone. Now with battery life, the iPhone 6s and 6s Plus has smaller batteries from their predecessors, but they have pretty much the same battery life like the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. So in battery, I will give the iPhone 6s the score 7, since it's not the best phone with battery life you can get, and the iPhone 6s Plus I will give the score 10, since I've never left without battery with this phone, and it is amazing, and it's one of the best battery life you can get on a smartphone. Now with OS, the iPhone 6s is running the iOS 9. The newest is iOS 9.3.1. Which you should download, and iOS 9 has a lot of improvements. I will leave a link below to the iOS 9 video I did, and iOS 9 is really work perfectly with the new iPhone 6s. Also in 9.3 we got some new features, for example night shift mode, which make your screen warmer in more darker environment, and I use it a lot, and it's really great, and iOS had always worked fast, and iOS 9 is not disappointment on the iPhone 6s, and it is work amazing. So in OS and UI, I will give it 10. Okay guys, so this is the iPhone 6s. It is faster, has improved camera, faster Touch ID, and also 3D touch. With this beautiful Retina HD displays, 750p for the 6s and 1080p for the 6s Plus, the same like the iPhone 6 and 6 Plus. They are excellent displays, they are great phones, and in display I will give the iPhone 6s the score 9, and the 6s Plus I will give the score 10. And for the final grade, I will give the iPhone 6s the score 8.8 and the 6s Plus the score 9.5 out of 10. There is a few differences between the iPhone 6s and the 6s Plus with the camera and display, but in battery, but these phones in the end are really great. Now the rumor says that the iPhone 7 will come out soon, but won't have a lot of upgrades, so do your math if you want to wait or not. If you have iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, you don't want to spend too much money. I don't think you really need to upgrade to the new iPhones. Maybe to the new iPhone SE that has the same hardware in a smaller design. I hope I will do a review about it soon. But if you have iPhone 5s or older, then you should upgrade. This is the biggest S upgrade we've ever had. Okay guys, thank you so much. I was ReTech, and I will see you in the next video.